Welcome back to the channel. Plasma 1945 Growling Sidewinder Mig-29 here, taking off for a PvP fight, fighting against other pilots. Now, the important part of this video is not the fact that I'm going to get two beautiful splashes, but the fact that I will be executing a textbook landing from the Soviet manuals. That's right, we're still getting ready for the Mig-29 full fidelity module, and as you can see here, nice clean takeoff, no damage to the airplane. How we do that is trim back by about 15%, roll it up and hit afterburners at the very last second, flaps out of course, and rotate at just over 270 kilometers an hour. All right, I'm going to roll out to the right, and while I accelerate time so you guys are not sitting bored, I will give you a quick overview of the fight here. I'm flying out to the west. The server had just restarted. Unfortunately, I don't have the audio for this fight because it was from my stream and I couldn't replay the track. The track seemed to be broken. Now, I was able to get the TAC view. Thanks for that, TAC view. You can get TAC view for free if you go to tacview.net, and you can download TAC views from the Growling Sidewinder or other places and watch your flights and watch your performance to see what you did right, what you did wrong. And also, shout out to FOX3 Managed Solutions, who provide fantastic servers that we do our training on. So I was fast forwarding here, and we're going to jump ahead. As you can see, I have pulled out to the middle of the valley between Tbilisi and Kutaisi, and I have a TOMCAT over to the left. He's launching missiles on me. Now, I am starting to pick him up, but I don't have a stable lock on him. He is approximately 80 kilometers away. I start to turn in, as I should have a good solution on him. He's firing Phoenixes across the map. I was in a notch, so hopefully he didn't spot me. Not sure where those Phoenixes are going, but as I turn in, I start working my radar, changing my elevation, and there we have a positive ID on him. And let's go for a lock. Now I checked F10. I'm the only pilot here going all the way to the west. The server had just restarted. It's me against this guy here. What I didn't know is there was a second F-18 right behind him. But in this situation, I have no choice. I have to push him away. Even though this missile would not really hit him, that's a FOX3 R77 ER, and he gets the notification of a launch. He fires a Phoenix at me at the last second, and I'm already cranking and heading off to the right. Now, I can actually see he's doing the same thing. If you look at the bottom left side of the HUD and you pause, you'll see a small arrow which points to the way that the enemy's flying. So right now the arrow's pointing in front of me, which means that he's going cold. So what I'm doing here is I'm watching my closure to him, and that's the arrow that is in the middle of the HUD, and also the arrow that's pointing away from me. That's at the very bottom of the left scale. I drop lock, and the reason I did that is I am waiting for him to recommit. Now, he heard there was a missile chasing him. What I need him to do is to turn around. What I didn't know is there's an F-18 coming in. So here he comes in for a turn. I drop my fuel tank because we're going to full combat mode, and I'm at full gate. Got a lock on him again. I can see that he's flying towards me. The arrow's pointing towards me. There's a FOX1. The missile is tracking. He did a very beautiful 180 turn there, and he is hot on me. My RWR is saying that he is definitely painting me, and I'm in full afterburn and start cranking out to the right. I've switched over to the R77 missiles, which are FOX3, so I can launch and forget them, but they have limited range, and because he is down on the deck, I have to fire it from a very close range to get a hit on him. He fires a Phoenix on me, as you can see, and he heads off to the north, to the right as well. My 27ER is not doing much. There goes the Phoenix. Started beeping on the nose, which means I have to crank. I fire my R77 FOX3, and I crank hard over to the right. His Phoenix makes a hard turn, 90-degree turn, but my R77 catches up to the TOMCAT, and there's a beautiful splash. F-14 TOMCAT down by yours truly. Now, he did have a wingman in the air who was snoozing and wasn't helping him out. What should have happened is he should have pulled back towards his wingman and come around to get me. Alright, well, his Phoenix missile is behind me. As you can see, still blinking, but I'm climbing and accelerating. I can see that it's trying to track me from my 6 o'clock. At this point, I'm thinking, weird. But the AWACS, because I don't have data link, is telling me that there's a hostile to the south. So I'm making my turn, and I can actually see him. This is the F-18 that is going right to left, so he's going from the west to the east, and I'm picking him up. There he is on my nose. He is higher and faster than me, but I'm in full afterburner, I'm without a tank, and I'm down to 3 missiles, so I am very fast now. My speed is accelerating, I'm already past Mach 1 and only getting faster. Stable lock on him, this guy's cruising 0.82 Mach, while I am a bat out of hell. I'm doing almost Mach 1.5. Now, because I've got the R77s and he is in a beam, that means he's not flying towards me, the missile would have a challenge closing on him. Now, I can give it as much speed as I possibly can, but I do need to close the distance. So I'm watching the RWR, seeing, is he going to turn in? But the arrow is pointing, he's going in a beam. He's totally disregarding me. For whatever reason, this guy is snoozing. Well, he is going to pay for it. Just as I pass within close range, there's a FOX3. He panics. He cranks hard out to the south. Deploys a little bit of chaff, but it's not going to help him. Just in case, here's a second R77, but the first one's already made contact and has taken him out. And the second one hits his body. Now, at this point, I'm down to 1 missile. My fuel state is down to just over 1,100 kilograms, which means I've got enough for a comfortable RTB. And as you can see, this whole flight probably took no more than 10 minutes so far, 10-15 minutes. And that's really where the MiG-29 was designed to fly, right? It was designed to be a frontline aircraft in the Polish, West German forces, pushing forwards and basically establishing frontline dominance, while the Su-27s came up behind from Soviet Union and Belarus. So, accelerating out, now I'm going to show you guys the textbook landing. This is from the official Soviet doctrine. And the reason I'm fast forwarding and not quite synchronizing the TAC view on the right and the camera footage on the left is so that it's just not bouncing around too much as I head back towards the airbase. Now, in the nav mode, I'm actually saying that I have the airbase showing as a little circle, and I've got a range to the airbase. My fuel state is more than sufficient, but I'm going to fly past the airbase and turn back in. Now, double checking my trimmer, that's where the trimmer would be set, left and right. And now I'm going to turn base, but again, it's not going to be a straight in. Per the Soviet doctrine, you are supposed to fly by the airbase, have it pass off of your left wing, and then fly for 90 to 120 seconds while reducing your airspeed to about 250 to 300 knots, which is about 500 to 580 kilometers an hour. Then you perform a 180-degree turn and line up for the airbase. By this point, you should be at an altitude of 500 meters, and your airspeed should be about 500 kilometers an hour. So that's what we're doing. So my target here is the Tbilisi runway. I'm just double checking the inside of my plane. So there's the Tbilisi runway off my left side. And slowing down, and you guys can actually see the airspeed now in TAC view, showing up as additional data. So I'm 0.7 Mach. Reducing my airspeed, not quite to idle, but very close to it. The MiG-29 does have a tendency to fall out of the sky. And at this point, it's all about setting the timer. So if you press the right Control C, I believe, is the clock timer. So I'm actually watching the timer right there behind my stick to give myself 60 seconds to make the turn. I mean, right? Who would have used clocks in a MiG-29? But, time on target, all those things. Pretty awesome. So right now I'm 7 kilometers away from the airbase. The goal is to be about 20 kilometers away from the airbase when you're coming in for a landing. Passing Vaziani off my left side. Looking at the clock. It's all about patience. All right, this feels like about enough time. I'm not quite following the 90 to 120 seconds, but my airspeed is getting close, so I can start my rollout to the left. Bring up my nose, cutting back extra speed. And at this point, I'm 15 kilometers away from the airbase. My flaps are not extended, my air brake is not out, neither is my gear. All about being nice and smooth, and I guess I'm sorry guys, the audio did cut out here. There was a lot of chatter, so I just got rid of it for this video file, so please forgive me for that. As always, hey, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and comment, because this is going to be the smoothest landing I have ever done. And it goes to show you, reading books makes a difference. It's not just about being a cowboy. Everything can be done as long as you do it correctly in an airplane. That's what those manuals are for. All right, so coming in final, I'm 0.5 Mach. Air brake is out. Now, the interesting thing is, on the MiG, as soon as you extend your gear, the air brake will collapse. So watch this. So as soon as I start deploying my gear, my air brake closes up. With the gears out, I am waiting for the flaps. Keeping it nice and smooth. I still have another 250 kilograms, 300 kilograms of fuel. Totally ignoring the RWR. I'm in a safe place here. And being nice and easy. Just around 500 kilometers an hour. Now, if I had extended to the full 20 kilometers instead of 15 kilometers, full 120 seconds, I think I would have come down here at about 400 kilometers or so an hour. But as you can see here, 400 kilometers right here, I'm thinking maybe I'm too fast. Do I need to go around again? I deploy all my flaps. Come down nice and easy. Wait for a touchdown. And touchdown at 300 kilometers an hour. Roll for a few seconds and deploy the parachute. The airplane is in perfect condition. Successful landing, textbook as you have it. And there you have it. So, fly past the airbase for 120 seconds, make a left-hand turn to be at an altitude of 500 meters and 500 kilometers an hour. Deploy your gear as you pass through 400. Deploy your flaps at around 370 kilometers an hour. And you'll have a successful landing. So there you have it, guys. Perfect landing. I think this is the best landing I've ever had in a MiG-29, plus splash a couple of hostiles. As always, I'll see you in the air, and Plasma 1945 is out of here.